it's a really interesting time because, you know, YouTube have been on the scene for a long time and have been a video first platform for a long time. Interestingly, they're moving the other way. They're actually moving more social and introducing lots more social based tools, community tabs, and much more stories and kind of much more social driven platform focus. Whereas everybody else is moving the other way. Facebook is, you know, introduced Watch 2 years ago. We're still trying to figure out how that grows, but they're evolving that. Instagram launched IGTV. Snap have their Discover environment, although it's a slightly different beast because it's a kind of closed wall. And LinkedIn, as you mentioned, I mean, it's not predominantly on my partner's radars, but you can see it.
You can see the way it's
You can see it's evolving, and you know they're all pushing video, and for a multitude of reasons. One, it increases retention on the platforms. More viewing of video means longer watch time, means longer retention, and therefore all of our statistics go up, and more advertising being served against all of that content. So it's a really interesting time, particularly, you know, when you think about it in the context of brands who have traditionally used those platforms as probably quite traditional ways, the way a TV advertising would be delivered, serving kind of campaigns in through paid media and those kind of environments. How do you build and contain and control an audience in those different environments?
So that's an interesting question. Like, how does someone think about building an audience within those platforms? And is it just, you know, is a big element of that time served, so to speak, as in, you know, yes.
Like you're nodding. Yeah, no, I think it's a difficult question. I think you know what we do. It's easier for the partners we work with because they have volumes of content. They're working with TV content. They're working with archive. They're, you know, a brand. All of these platforms are driven by certain algorithms as well. That's the other thing. They're data-driven platforms. And they're complicated. You know, it's not easy to build an audience organically. It's forever changing. I mean, we're working with, I think, something like 4 billion views a month on YouTube alone. Across all of our different activities. We have, I think we'll probably hit about 3 billion views this year on Facebook. And all of that is just feeding our insights team with what thumbnail works best, what length of content is working most effectively, how are we titling, how are we delivering metadata, all of the kind of the guts of the platform that are really delivering the audience. Alongside that, you also then need the content, and that's the interesting complexity that a brand has, because they're traditionally driven by campaign, switch on paid, deliver a big spike, and then it disappears, and we start all over again. What we've been working with all of these partners is how do you build a long-term organic audience that when you are putting big kind of, I guess for the best, one of the better phrase, big hero pieces that sit inside that they don't just deliver a spike, they deliver a spike and build and it sustains and grows off the back of it. So a kind of a paid strategy actually sitting alongside an organic strategy rather than a kind of paid versus organic becomes ever more important. The only way to do that is by building a longer term content strategy, which is kind of counter to what how brands operate, because they're thinking about what's our next campaign, what we're going to do.
So when you say longer term, I mean, how long should they be thinking? I mean, obviously it's broad strokes here, but is long 2 months, or is it 12 months or 2 years? Like, what are they?
I mean, the longer the better. I think that the reality with these, it's very difficult to think in kind of 2-3 year strategies for anybody, in fact, whether that's sports or broadcasters, but all brands. But longer term has to be over at least a 12-month period, because the effects of, you know, when we start with a new client on the broadcast, in the broadcast world, or a sports partner, we'll always give them the talk of doom. It's the kind of, it'll take we'll spend a month and we'll build all this up and we'll start building this out. 3 months you'll be looking, thinking, this is not really worth the effort. 6 months you're ready to switch it off. 9 months it starts to grow, and by 12 months you're in a really solid position. That can be accelerated with paid to support it, but it has to be supported rather than it's organic paid supporting organic rather than paid driving organic. I think that's the really key part to it. Because with an organic audience, the algorithms are delivering more organic viewing, and therefore when you put paid behind that, you'll be delivered the particular video or piece of content that you're trying to get in front of people, and then they'll go on and watch something else that's on that platform. And it's about content for audience sake rather than content for content's sake.